you run a podcast and want to grow your listener base through social media, today's video is going to walk you through exactly that. Now, we've used these strategies to grow podcast channels for our clients so that they can increase their audience and grow their business in general. I've also used these in the past when I used to do podcasts and any podcasts that I've gone on. And on top of that, I've also partnered with Riverside for this video, who have, I believe, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of podcasters using their platform. And they gave me a ton of insights from what works for them. So let's get into it. So the first big thing is that you need to record with video. You see, YouTube is currently the biggest platform that people consume podcasts on, with 38% of listeners being via YouTube. And as we all know, YouTube is entirely a video-based platform. So if you want to maximize your reach of both the long form content, but also being able to create plenty of clips to distribute across Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Shorts, then you have to film it with video. Some people have tried to use audio clips and then post those as long form on YouTube, as well as clips for social media, but they barely ever perform well, and you're just better off to film with video. It's also worth noting that according to Riverside, 85% of podcasts currently record at least some of their episodes with video, so you don't want to get left behind on this one. So the second tip that I want to give you is about growing on YouTube. As we just mentioned, it's the number one place people listen to podcasts, and the best way to grow your audience here is to film and publish both your long form content here, and then to clip it up and post as shorts. You see, you can film an hour-long episode once per week that should give you more than enough content to be able to clip up and publish shorts every single day. With these shorts, you want to keep them between 15 and 60 seconds long for the best reach, which also means that they will fit into all of the other platforms, because whilst YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they all sort of copy each other, they have slight differences in the length of what is considered short form versus long form. However, if you keep them between 15 and 60 seconds, they will work for every platform, which makes things simple, and then you don't have to cut them down extra short for YouTube whilst making them longer for TikTok and so on. YouTube Shorts alone generate 15 billion views per day and is constantly growing. So you want to get ahead of this by leveraging it to generate awareness, which can then get funneled back into people watching your full episodes. According to Riverside, currently 19% of podcasts post daily shorts clips, which means by simply doing this one thing, you are already putting yourself in the top 20% of active podcasts. Make the clips high quality and interesting, and then you'll be even higher up that list. Now, the third one, and something I guess I've touched on in the past too, is when you do create all of these clips, repurpose it across every platform. You see, if you take all of this effort to record a long form podcast each week, and then you spend time to chop it up into 7 or 8 clips to post every single day on YouTube, you might as well take the extra 5 minutes each day to then chuck it on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and then also have it automatically posted to Facebook. It's a minimal amount of additional effort that will lead to a whole heap of extra reach. If, for example, you get 1,000 views per clip that you publish, if you just post it on one platform, you're obviously getting 1,000 views a day. If you post it on 5, you're getting 5,000 views a day. That is a 5x increase for what might only take you an extra 5 or 6 minutes a day, which is going to be an extra half an hour a week. So as a percentage wise, you might go from spending 3 or 4 hours a week on a podcast to 3.5 or 4.5 hours by getting 5 times the reach and growth. Now, if you want to streamline all of this and do it effectively, that's where Riverside can come in and help, because if you film your podcast remotely with them, which firstly gives you the best quality video of any online platform, then when you're finished recording, you can put it into their tool called Magic Clips, which will use AI to pick out the best segments of your podcast and turn them into engaging short form videos that you can then post onto your platforms, which already have got the captions added to them and all of those effects to make it engaging. This way you can spend an hour to film a podcast and then a few minutes for AI to churn out enough clips for you to post every single day on whatever platforms you use, which becomes a massive time saver compared to manually spending hours and hours checking through your own video yourself, taking time to find the clips and then chop them out and then edit them and add your subtitles and all of that. It's just worth using one of these AI tools. Now, you can even use Magic Clips tools if you don't record on Riverside. Maybe you record in person, but still want to get clips using AI and you don't want to find the timestamps yourself. So we use this for a setup with a boxer that I work with to help take clips from boxing training sessions, which are not filmed in this, but they just film with a normal iPhone and microphone, and then you can chuck them into Magic Clips to get a ton of short form content that you can then publish. Okay, so diving into my screen, I want to show you how Riverside actually works. Now, one of the beautiful things about this tool, and this is an update that they've recently done, is not only does it work really well for people who film their podcast remotely and have interviews online, it's obviously the best quality for that side of things, like we've touched on. However, it also works really well for people that shoot podcasts in person or people who shoot YouTube videos like myself, because what you can do is simply upload your footage into Riverside and you're going to have all of the same beautiful features with both the Magic Clips and the AI transcription. So to show you this, I've created a studio about one of my YouTube videos that I've filmed, which is 16 secrets to grow on Instagram. And then I've uploaded that file in here. And then if I click into it, I will be able to go ahead and create Magic Clips. So what I'm going to do is click generate clips. And so it is going to go ahead and find the best moments. And the other thing that I can do in the meantime is let AI write my show notes. So this is obviously show notes for a podcast, but I'm going to use this on YouTube. And so what it'll do is it'll go through the content, transcribe everything, and then turn it into a description that I can use for YouTube. It'll highlight all the keywords, which is great for SEO. But at the same time, it'll also give me chapters for my content, which is really good for viewers who are trying to figure out, what part of the content is going to help them the most. It's also really good, again, for SEO when you have chapters in your content, because if people search for just how to do that one specific thing on YouTube, it can show up. So we're just going to wait a couple moments for the transcribing and the clips, and then we'll be back to this. Okay, so Riverside have come back and given us 5 clips. So what we're going to do is click on this. Now, if you are posting this as a short form piece of content that is going up as either a YouTube short, an Instagram reel, a TikTok, Facebook reel, etc., you're going to want to have it on the 9:16. If you recorded this inside Riverside and 2 people are on the podcast, then you'd be able to have one person's clip at the bottom, one person's clip at the top. Because this is a solo recording of me on YouTube, what we're going to do is click on the layout and we're going to go full frame AI, and it's going to zoom in and it's just going to be me. This way it takes up the whole screen and it's going to be more engaging. So what we're then going to do is change the captions to something that we like. So you can use different fonts, different styles. You can have different text. I'm going to leave it on the default one. You can make it larger, you can make it smaller, you can make it tiny, you can put it to the sides, you can make it bold, you can change the colors, you can do anything that you want to it. Okay, so after watching this clip through, I've decided that I actually want to make it shorter because I think it's going to be more interesting if I cut it. And so what I'm going to do is start it there. I'm going to pull it back a tiny bit. So that now I've got a clip that has got a really good hook. Stop sending people to the link in your bio, or at least stop actively promoting the link in bio, because it kills your conversions. I've got text, it's all framed up, it looks great. I can then export that clip. I might change the font some more, but that is good to go. I can export it 1080p, remove background noise, normalize audio, remove watermark. You don't want any of that stuff there. And I might change the caption, the title on it, to stop using link in bio. Now, whilst we wait for that to be done, I can just go back to the recording page, and now my AI show notes are done. So in this conversation, Josh Ryan shares 16 secrets to gain followers on Instagram. He emphasizes understanding the Instagram algorithm, asking for engagement, and providing a clear value proposition. Key takeaways, chapters, all of that. So
what I would do, because it's in a podcast format where it's an interview, you'd probably leave it like that. But in a YouTube video, what I would probably do is change the grammar of it so that it is worded as if I am saying it about myself, rather than like he emphasizes. I would use I emphasize, understanding the algorithm, asking for engagement, and providing a clear value proposition. So what I'm going to do now is copy this show notes. I'm going to bring it across to YouTube. You see on YouTube, I've already put in all of my links in that, but the show notes is more about the SEO side of things. And so what I will do is I'll put it down here. And then what I'll do in this video, instead of conversation, I share 16 secrets to gain followers. Understanding the algorithm, asking for engagement, and providing a clear value proposition. Other tips include using hashtags. I also recommend boosting content. And so all of this stuff here is going to be plenty of keywords. So I'm going to test using this for SEO. I've got all my chapters listed there. And then that should help my video perform better from an SEO standpoint. And then now, because we've added this SEO in, what should happen is if I click across to this video, we will have chapters on the video. So you can see there's now chapters on my content. So the first minute is asking for engagement, and then it is, understanding the algorithm, asking for engagement, providing a clear value proposition. And you can see that all comes from this. So this will help with the SEO, it'll help with the ranking of the content, and it'll help me grow and reach more people, and it's done entirely by AI. Then I just come through and edit the rest of the clips to make sure that they are all framed up. And with pretty much no work, I've got an SEO optimized description. I've got 5 clips from my content, and that is going to help me grow my audience. So let's dive back to the main screen.
Now, some of you may be wondering why I'm talking about podcasts, considering I don't currently have one myself, but when I did have one, I used Riverside. It's also what I recommend any clients of ours that record remotely use, as from my opinion, it's been the best that I've seen. As they've sponsored this video, you can get a free account with them and 15% off any paid plans using the link in the description, and just put the code as my name, Josh Ryan, down below. Now, fourth strategy, as you begin posting content daily across multiple platforms, you'll need to effectively funnel this traffic back to your podcast. You don't want to invest all this time, get a ton of views, and then have it lead absolutely nowhere. You want to set up your profiles so that they have one link in your bio that everyone goes to, which then shows people both a link to your podcast and a link to some sort of freebie that you give away to get people to join your newsletter. Then what you want to do in the bio, so above this link, is you want to have a call to action for people to click on it. So if you're on Instagram and you put a link to your podcast as a link, above it, you want a call to action for people to actually click on it. You want to tell them what they're going to get from it. What is your podcast about? What is the freebie about? Give them a reason to click on the link. You can do the same on TikTok. You can do the same on LinkedIn. I think you can do the same on Facebook, but most platforms will allow you to put some sort of call to action of why they should click this link. Maybe it's weekly episodes that are going to teach you about gardening, or maybe it's, financial education, or whatever your podcast is about. Have a call to action of what people are going to get from clicking on it. This way, anyone who discovers your content on social media gets funneled back to your bio, which encourages them to click the link and then go enjoy the full episodes, as well as subscribing to your email list if they're interested in what you're giving away. Now, once you've got the fundamentals down of recording with video, turning into clips and distributing them across every platform, and then funneling those people back, it's time to take things up a notch. And so these next few are all good ways that you can accelerate your growth once you've got those fundamentals consistent and you're doing them every week. Which brings us on to the fifth one, and that is take the best performing clips each week and boost it within your favorite platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever you use. Come up with a budget you're happy to invest. Keep it small to start with, $5 or $10 a day. Pick your main platform to focus this budget on and just start. If your budget is $300 a month, that's $10 per day on your best platform, which for you might be Instagram. This way you can predictably grow your audience using ads. And if you have something to monetize the podcast in some way, shape, or form, this should lead to a good return. If you're an accountant, say running a podcast, you give away a bunch of advice, and you're spending $300 a month on boosting content, it only takes one new listener to become a client every few months that is then going to spend thousands of dollars per year with you for it to become worth doing. If you don't have a business on the back end that you can monetize it with, you could look at sponsors, you could look at affiliate deals, or maybe you just hold back on the advertising until you start growing it and have a bit more revenue to work with. Now the sixth one is one that I started touching on earlier in this video, and that's begin building your email list. You see, distribution of content across social media platforms can be unpredictable. What you want to do is collect the emails of your audience so you can directly email them each week with a link to your podcast and other valuable insights. This way, each time a new episode goes live, you can push it straight to your audience without worrying about any algorithms. And then you can use social platforms to reach new people by publishing all of your clips and your content, funnel them back to your podcast and email list by giving away something for free in return for their email, and then use that as your way of publishing and distributing content. Social media platforms are great for reaching new people and going viral and getting your content out there, but sometimes it can be a little bit unpredictable as far as the reach goes, which is why you leverage it, get a ton of views, push those people back to something more consistent. Now, there's a ton of different tools out there that you can use for your email marketing. One of the ones that I've found that's quite good for beginners and people starting out on a smaller budget is called Beehive. And that way you can build your email list for free because you won't pay $1 with them until you reach 2,500 email subscribers. And by the time you get to that point, you'll be able to earn some good income through that audience. So that's one that I'd recommend if you're starting out. The seventh tip, and this is something that is unrelated to social media and email lists and that sort of marketing, but it's just ask more often for reviews. Now, again, sounds very simple, but so few people do it, and it's so important. Riverside found that the number one way to grow a podcast internally through the podcast platforms, meaning Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., and have them push your show organically, is to create a great episode, categorize your content accurately, and then ask for reviews. As the more reviews you get, the higher you will rank. Now, simply make it a habit that every episode at, say, 10 minutes and 40 minutes in, you ask people for a review. This time slot exactly might vary depending on how long your podcast is, but just make sure you have one sort of earlier on in the episode and one later on in the episode so that you can capture everyone who listens to it. As some people may listen to the first half and then drop off as it gets to a segment of the podcast that they don't really listen to. So that's why you often don't want to wait till the end, as some people will have clicked off. Same thing with YouTube videos. Now, the eighth and final tip that I want to give away is add in ManyChat to your Instagram and Facebook account to both increase the reach of your clips, but also convert more of them to podcast listeners. This is a tool that's approved by Meta that will send people a DM when they comment a specific word on your content. So this way, when you post clips, instead of saying, click the link in my bio to watch the full episode, which firstly, very few people will do, and secondly, Instagram will probably decrease your reach. You instead say comment podcast for the full episode, to which people then engage with the post, leading to better reach, and then ManyChat will send them a DM giving them the link to listen to the full podcast. Like I said, lead to increased reach on your clip as well as increased people converting across to your podcast platform, because when you DM people a link, they are more likely to click on it than if you just say go to the link in my bio. It's a lot more personal, and that added engagement on your content leads to way better reach. Again, I'll leave a link for a free trial of them down below. Hopefully those 8 tips help you grow your podcast listeners on social media. Thanks again to Riverside for sponsoring this video, and I will see you in the next one.